There is a powerful romance in the idea of solitude. We picture the hermit on the mountaintop, the lone artist in their studio, the thinker who has retreated from the noise and madness of the world to find clarity in silence. In our hyper-connected, relentlessly loud modern lives, this retreat feels like the ultimate luxury. We dream of escaping the endless notifications, the petty dramas, the crushing weight of expectation, and finding a quiet space where we can finally hear our own thoughts. We believe that in this isolation we will find ourselves. We will gather wisdom, heal our wounds, and distill the pure essence of our being. And for a time, this is true. Solitude is a crucible. It strips away the non-essential and forces us to confront who we truly are. But what happens next? What happens when the healing is done? When the insights have been gathered? When the inner cup is not just full but overflowing? A strange and painful transformation occurs. The sanctuary of solitude slowly becomes a gilded cage. The silence, once a source of peace, becomes a deafening echo chamber. The accumulated wisdom, once a source of power, becomes a heavy, unbearable burden. It is a kind of spiritual sickness, a painful pregnancy of the soul, where the knowledge we have gained aches to be born into the world. To remain on the mountain at this point is not an act of wisdom, but of cowardice. It is to let the honey spoil in the hive. The great and controversial philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche understood this profound human cycle better than anyone. Through his prophet Zarathustra, he tells the story not of a man who stays on the mountain, but of a man who finds the courage to leave it. This is not a story about achieving enlightenment and remaining in a state of detached bliss. It is the story of a pivotal, terrifying, and necessary decision: the choice to descend, to go under, to return to the messy, chaotic, often foolish, and beautiful world of humanity, not to rule over it, but to give it a gift. This is the story of what comes after you find yourself. Thus spoke Zarathustra. When Zarathustra was 30 years old, he left his home and the lake of his home and went into the mountains. Here he enjoyed his spirit and his solitude, and for 10 years did not tire of it. But at last his heart changed, and one morning he rose with the dawn, stood before the sun, and spoke to it thus: "You great star, what would your happiness be if you had not those for whom you shine? For 10 years you have climbed to my cave. You would have tired of your light and of the journey, had it not been for me, my eagle and my serpent. But we awaited you every morning, took from you your overflow, and blessed you for it. Behold, I am weary of my wisdom, like a bee that has gathered too much honey. I need hands outstretched to receive it. I would like to give away and distribute, until the wise among men once more find joy in their folly, and the poor in their wealth. For this I must descend into the deep. As you do in the evening, when you go behind the sea and give light to the underworld, you over-rich star. Like you, I must go under, as men call it, to whom I wish to descend. So bless me then, You calm eye that can look without envy upon an happiness that is too great. Bless the cup that wants to overflow, that the water may flow from it golden, and carry everywhere the reflection of your bliss. Behold, this cup wants to become empty again, and Zarathustra wants to become a man again. Thus began Zarathustra's going under. This brief, poetic prologue contains the entire blueprint for a noble and meaningful life, according to Nietzsche. Let us unpack its dense and powerful metaphors. Zarathustra's first act is to address the sun, his only companion for a decade. The sun is Nietzsche's ultimate symbol for the highest form of power. Not the power to dominate or control, but the power to overflow. The sun's greatness is not in its own fiery existence, but in its relentless, unconditional giving of light, warmth, and life. Its happiness, Zarathustra intuits, is inextricably linked to having a world to illuminate. For Nietzsche, this is the true nature of the will to power, the drive of all strong things to discharge their strength, to give of their abundance. A truly powerful soul does not hoard its gifts. It radiates them. Zarathustra himself has become like a small sun. He is weary of his wisdom, like a bee that has gathered too much honey. This is a crucial insight. Wisdom that is kept in isolation, that is not tested and shared in the world of others, becomes stagnant. It is a sickness of abundance. It is like a muscle that has been developed but is never used. The true purpose of gathering wisdom on the mountain is to prepare for the moment of descent. The solitude is not the goal. It is the training ground. And what is the purpose of this descent? It is not merely to teach or to lecture. It is something far more radical. Zarathustra wishes to give, until the wise among men once more find joy in their folly, and the poor in their wealth. This is Nietzsche's famous call for a revaluation of all values. He doesn't want to make the foolish wise. He wants the wise, those who are paralyzed by their seriousness, their book learning, their sterile intellectualism, to learn how to laugh, to dance, and to be gloriously, creatively foolish again. And he wants the poor, not just the materially poor, but those who are poor in spirit yet perhaps rich in character and resilience, to recognize and find joy in their own inner wealth, rather than living in bitter resentment of external riches. His goal is to shatter the old, life-denying values and to offer a new way of seeing. To do this, he must, like the sun, go under. This German word, Untergang, is central to Nietzsche's philosophy. It means a descent, a setting, a decline. It is a voluntary act of self-emptying. Zarathustra must leave the pure, simple heights of his solitude and plunge into the messy, complex, and often corrupt world of humanity. He must risk being misunderstood, rejected, and even destroyed. This is the ultimate sacrifice and the ultimate act of love. He blesses the overflowing cup, a symbol of his own soul, ready to pour out its golden wisdom and carry the reflection of the sun's bliss everywhere. And in the final, poignant line, we discover the ultimate purpose of this going under. Zarathustra wants to become a man again. After 10 years of being a near-mythical figure, a hermit communing with eagles, serpents, and the sun, he must re-engage with the human condition in all its beautiful and painful imperfection. The path to becoming a higher being, the Übermensch or Overman, is not a straight, linear ascent up the mountain. It is a constant, cyclical journey of climbing, gathering, and descending to give. To become more than human, one must first have the courage to become fully, vulnerably, and lovingly human once more. We all have our own mountains. They are the periods in our lives of intense learning, of private struggle, of deep introspection, or even of profound joy that we experience in solitude. We climb these mountains to gain perspective, to heal, to gather our strength. And we, too, eventually face Zarathustra's choice. What do we do with the honey we have gathered? What do we do with the light that has filled our cup? Do we stay on our safe, clean mountaintop, jealously guarding our insights, becoming weary and sick with our own abundance? Or do we find the courage to go under? This going under does not have to be a grand, prophetic mission to change the world. For us, it is a series of small, daily choices. It is the choice to share a skill you've mastered with a colleague who is struggling. It is the choice to offer a compassionate, listening ear to a friend in pain, sharing the wisdom you've gained from your own past hurts. It is the choice to bring the patience and clarity you've cultivated in meditation into a difficult family dinner. It is the courage to create something, art, a business, a community, and offer it to the world, risking failure and criticism. Every act of genuine giving, of pouring out your own unique strength and wisdom for the benefit of others, is your own small going under. This is the great, life-affirming lesson at the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy. A meaningful life is a cycle of intake and outflow, of gathering and giving. True power is found not in hoarding, but in overflowing. Like the sun, our happiness is incomplete until we have others to shine upon. The journey inward to find yourself is only the first half of the adventure. The true test, the beginning of a truly noble life, is the journey back down the mountain. It is the moment you decide to empty your cup so that others may drink. It is the moment you, too, choose to become fully human again. If you are ready to descend from your own mountain and begin the journey of giving, I invite you to subscribe to our channel. This is a place to explore the ideas that give us the courage to live a fuller, more generous life. Let's learn to overflow together.